The discussion redesign brings a few changes to the overall layout of the discussion board. Starting from the top down on the discussion board page, the first change we'll notice is that the search toolbar has been moved from below the instruction post to the top of the page, making discussion board navigation more of a streamlined process. You can now search immediately after opening the discussion board rather than having to scroll down past your instructions first. Included in this toolbar are some returning tools as well as some new features. Of course, you still have access to your search bar, which you can use to search for authors or keywords that you might be looking for. Typing in the bar like this will bring up a new view of replies containing the phrase that you've typed in, whether it be a keyword within the post or the name of an author. Clicking this X to the side will clear the filters and go back to the main page. Then we'll move on to the drop-down menu next to the search bar, which is now selected to all, meaning we'll see all messages. If we click this, we can change our view to unread, which gives us a view of only unread messages. We can also search through just these. So if I search Columbia student, for example, it will only give me unread messages by this student. And then we can click X to go back to our unread posts and then go back to all to see the main page of the discussion board. The other three buttons are the sort button, the view split screen or view inline button, and the expand or collapse threads button, all three of which we'll go over in a little bit when I visit navigation. The instructions box has had a layout overhaul as well. At the top of the instruction box in smaller font, you can see the due date and time for the discussion, as well as the dates in which the discussion is open for posting. On the opposite side, you can see the total possible points for this discussion. You can see the number of replies to the discussion, as well as an indicator of how many of those replies are unread. To the right of this is a bookmark button, which is changed from a full button at the bottom to this little bookmark icon here. If the bookmark is filled, it means you will get notifications for any responses within this discussion, depending on your account notification settings. If you click it and unfill this button, you will not get those notifications. So that is personal preference. And lastly, on this side of the instruction box, you'll have the settings menu here, which gives you three different options. Mark all as read, mark all as unread, and show rubric. By clicking show rubric, a rubric pops out, which will tell you how this discussion is going to be graded and how many total points that it is worth as well. And you can exit out of the rubric by clicking on the X here. Moving on to the left-hand side, you'll notice that the post author now has a picture and the name next to that picture, indicating who posted the discussion. And below the author's name, you'll see a new addition in the redesign, which are role labels. The author label is given only to the author of the discussion. The teacher label will be given to any instructor within the course if they post in the discussion. And there's a separate TA label that is also given to any student in your course with a TA role. This wraps up most of the aesthetic changes to the immediate viewing of the discussion board. Next, we'll move on to making responses and the new features within responding and posting inside of a discussion board.